Alright guys, welcome back to a brand new video. This is the P1-2-3 for the CBR number 2 2022 race. So this is the part 2 to what was the 2-3 race. So this is my second race of the day. Feeling a little bit tired. Was, really keeping it really easy. Like just moving up real slow through all the corners on the outside. Kind of really similar things to the 2-3 race. The 2-3 race has a lot of correlations with the P1-2. It's just faster. That's what it is. You can pull a lot from the 2-3 race. So if you're aspiring like an elite rider, you want to get into the 2-3 race and try and figure out how you fit in. And if you think that you're a breakaway rider, you're gonna have to try really hard in the P1-2s to get into a breakaway. But sometimes it just happens, in this race, I think it just kind of chanced it into like a right situation. So we'll kind of skip to there because there's a lot of interesting parts in the breakaway that I kind of want to talk about. So I moved myself up to the front, and kind of like a happenstance, I'm just like, all right, my teammates are getting up the road. I should probably get up there so I can counterattack or just see what's happening. And I see this group going up the road, and I see this European guy, and he looks strong. So he looks like he's counterattacking the group that he was just in, because they're getting caught. So, and I go up with him. We do some turns, we do some pulls together, and I'm hurting because I have had a race in my legs, but I did have like 30 minutes of rest, so of warm up in this race. So we're kind of just taking our pulls, kind of seeing what happens, seeing what we could do. Yeah, and then eventually you can see here, Hot Tubes and Corey both bridge up to us, along with my teammate and a Methods to Winning guy. So this is becoming a very strong breakaway, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm here, but I'm just going to try and stay in it as long as I can. So I keep taking my pulls, and eventually we get out to a group of 8, adding my teammate and another guy that was really strong, and we just really were very consistent, rotating all the time. It's actually a huge breakaway. A group of 8 you'd rarely see go to the line, and it's very rare for that to happen, I think. It just kind of happened to be, everybody was okay with having a team, us have 3 guys up there. It ended up to be, one of the things that kind of hurt us, I think, is that we didn't know what to do with all our manpower. But yeah, we kept it really strong. There was like some funny moments with like Corey not wanting to pull, but he's a good guy. He knows what to do in these big races. He's been here, done that. Yeah, so you can see that kind of like moment where he's like, oh, you need to pull through. I'm like, no, I won't. You do it. And you just kind of have to be like assertive, but don't think that you can get away with everything, because this is also early enough in the race to just show him that I'm not going to let him walk all over us, and then now he knows that like he's not going to be able to get away with trying to not pull without me trying to take him off the back, because I'm fully ready to sacrifice myself for the team. The downside to that is that then Legion would have to be pulling us back. But this breakaway was really, really strong, so I think in that regard it's kind of like a moot point, because you never know what would happen in that regard. We had a big gap. We had up to 40 seconds at one point, I heard, and it got down to 20 seconds in the last 3 laps, and it went back out. So yeah, I don't think we were getting caught anytime soon. Just because of how lazy the field was and how well we were working together for most of the time. And yeah, let's look at what was going on for the rest of this. Okay, so with about 10 minutes to go, there is a big acceleration from one of the guys, and you can just see us get into some really high wattage numbers just to stay on. And this is where you're late in the race and you have to be just give it everything that you have to just be there, and know that it's gonna be fast for some parts, but it's also gonna get a little bit slower, because it's like just kind of what happens. And when it gets slower, you have to attack. I think that's one of the big things that we messed up, was like in these situations where it gets kind of slow, like 31, 32 is not really slow, but when it gets down to 30, 29, like you see here, like Corey takes a little bit of extra time to just kind of pull through. This is where you attack. This is where you put in a really big acceleration so that you can get that big. I know I'm like really close to the front, but like I'm only getting it to like 24 miles an hour. It's going really slow, and you can see another acceleration by the hot tubes guy, and so that's just kind of what happens. There's going to be those accelerations, but you have to make the big acceleration so that you can get that really high speed differential so that you can get away. And if you don't do that, then you're kind of letting the sprinters win. And I know that I have a sprint. I just don't have a good enough sprint for the sprinters. So I need to be able to make those breakaways work from the breakaway. You have to break away from the breakaway to win in these situations, because in a group of 8 it kind of starts breaking down a lot when you see these attacks, and that's why I was staying so fast, because there were so many attacks, but everybody seemed so strong. Yeah, and so I'm going to go through the final last little bit, including this little acceleration that I do, and this should have come much sooner, like what I was saying, like when Corey was kind of sitting up a little bit, or when kind of slowed down a little bit, or anything like that. But I do put in this acceleration with 2 laps to go, to try and give my teammates a bit of something for some other people to chase at, and so my teammates can counter. So I'm keeping it on the front. I'm absolutely hurting right now. Trying to do as much as I can, keep that speed high. 26 miles an hour is not fast enough. I got it up to 27, but I was really hurting. You can see that I was kind of struggling to keep the power out, and I see that my teammates are coming counterattacking right now, so I just really try and get on the back, but I'm gapped off the back. I did another big acceleration, so now I have to try and use as much as I can to try and get back. Luckily, fortunate for me, everybody kind of is not going hard enough on this hill, so I use just a little bit of extra energy to do this, get back up to them. But in this situation, I needed my third teammate to really just attack. Even though he's a sprinter, we needed him to attack, because yeah, it kind of screwed us that it kind of got slower and the sprint wasn't coming. You can see Jason's come to the back. He's pretty hurting right now. And Ozzy comes to the back, so that we're kind of like sitting on the back trying to see like who's gonna do what. The back is where you want to be if you're looking to latch onto something, but we should be the assertive ones that need to be aggressive. We want to be winning this race. We have 3 people in a group of 8. We need to win this race. We can't let other people. So here you see Jason goes for another attack. I was on his wheel, but I let him go so that he could try and get some extra gap. But everybody's quick onto the wheel. Everybody's, knowing that anything going right now would be the end of the race. So it kind of slows down again. This is when I should have attacked. Probably, even though I don't have heart rate on here, I was probably maxed heart rate right now, absolutely crushed. But this is when this is when the moments happen. You have to make it stick. But that wasn't to be. We go up this hill for the final time. Everybody's surging really hard. Everyone's going really deep. You see my teammate pulls out after he was keeping it fast for Aussie. I use a lot of matches to stay on here. You can see that it is just super fast going into the sprint, and I use all of the effort that I can. You can see Aussie kind of lost a bit in the end, and I overtook him, but in the end we should have attacked more, I think, but still a good race. Let me know if you guys have any comments on this. Like and subscribe if you liked it.